If you haven't been doing direct mail for your HVAC company, what are you even doing?
I don't know. Targeting neighborhoods where you already have jobs is number one. Like, the house was built around the same year, of the same materials, maybe by the same builder in those areas, neighborhoods, a couple hundred homes or whatever, where you're already doing jobs. Targeting the neighbors of those jobs.
Hey, how's it going? It's Tim Brown, and this is the HVAC Hustle Podcast. Today I've got Dave Carroll from DOPE Marketing on. How you doing, sir?
What up?
We are talking about HVAC direct mail strategy. So if you haven't been doing direct mail, for your HVAC company, what are you even doing?
I don't know.
We're gonna pick
probably
Dave's,
a lot.
Yeah, probably a lot of stuff. But Dave's got a lot of ideas, and I think with the right direct mail strategy, we could add a couple more million. So talk to me about what you've seen work for companies like this, and give me specific strategies. We're going to go into them, but first, I would love just a minute of your background.
Yeah, so Dave Carroll, CEO and founder of DOPE Marketing. We provide laser-focused direct mail with no minimum order in the home service space. We work with HVAC, plumbing, roofing, solar, power washing, Christmas lights. And to us, what's great, strategies get very relative, and we have some that get very granular. And so I own a home service business that does power washing, window cleaning, gutter cleaning, and Christmas lights here in the Twin Cities that I've had for 14 years. Got into data about 10 years ago, started DOPE about 3 years ago, because I just felt like there was an easier way to do print and direct mail than the traditional way that's been going on since the year I was born, like 1985.
Awesome. So specifically for HVAC companies, what have you seen that they're doing differently or that they really want to focus on with direct mail?
So what a lot of HVAC companies are doing right now successfully, from the shows that we've done, the clients we've got a couple hundred HVAC clients right now on our automation stuff that we'll get into. But like, targeting neighborhoods where you already have jobs is number one. Like, the house was built around the same year, of the same materials, maybe by the same builder in those areas, neighborhoods, a couple hundred homes or whatever, where you're already doing jobs. Targeting the neighbors of those jobs. So Harvard Business School did a study that said it takes 7 to 11 touches for a cold consumer to remember a brand. We did a study at DOPE that the average home service business is getting 2 to 4 touches to their average prospects, their neighbors of their jobs, people that are likely to hire them. And so setting up direct mail to go out to the neighbors of your jobs automatically, and this is something, again, I want to make this a sales pitch. This is educational. But at DOPE, one thing we do is we can connect with Sarah, Service Titan, House Call Pro, High Level, HubSpot, Salesforce, whatever CRM, and based on the status of a job, we can make postcards, handwritten notes, or gift boxes go out to the neighbors just based on the status of that job. And the number one strategy that we've seen work the best in HVAC, 25 postcards to the neighbors once a week for 4 weeks in a row based on marking a job approved is getting leads coming in from the right customers that have the same problems that you can easily service because you already service their neighbors.
Do HVAC companies do yard signs?
They do.
Are they?
Not as many as they should.
Yeah, are they doing it consistently, I guess is my real question. And do you suggest it? Or what other things are you like really gung-ho for HVAC?
What I really like is, like, I call it like neighboritis in HVAC. So yes, you need to be putting a yard sign in the yards of the jobs that you're doing. The 5 door hangers around, the postcards going out strategically, same as you're doing like your digital ads in those same neighborhoods. But one of the strategies I really like is the strategic placement of yard signs. So whether it's like the stop sign of the cul-de-sac coming out of the high-end neighborhood, the gas station down the block from the neighborhood that you worked in, putting it on the stop sign coming out of the gas station, the Home Depot, the high-end grocery store, like putting them in the stop signs in those areas. That's where we've seen yard signs work. And I see a lot of like roofing, solar, Christmas light businesses doing that. It's very rare that I see HVAC companies do it, but it's great for branding. These yard signs in strategic areas are like tiny little billboards. And so whether it's like coming out of high-end daycares, gas stations in high-end areas, or even like freeway exits, getting off to the neighborhoods where you're working, strategically putting signs there, we see a lot of results.
Does this
For my company.
For his company. I just saw one yesterday coming out of my daycare. for my baby. So
Yep.
you practice what you preach.
Eating our own dog food over here.
Which I really appreciate. Now, can you give me a few tips on yard signs for HVAC companies?
Keep it simple. Like, a lot of HVAC companies have a great brand. We've seen a lot of HVAC companies we've done really cool like die cut signs for. Because what happens is you can have a standard 18 by 24 yard sign and it can get the job done for sure. What you want to do is just like service, phone number, QR code. It's not as much about the branding, but HVAC companies, unlike a lot of other industries, invest heavily in their branding and their marketing, and that's why I love the industry so much. We can do custom signs that are like cut as your logo, but still don't get away. Like, you don't want your yard sign to be a Picasso. You don't need like 8 colors and 12 services and like all those other things. You want the service you offer, like your number one service, a phone number, and a QR code is my favorite. If you have room for a logo or some colors for your branding, that's fine. But it's like, we do a really good job at my company, Lion Share Maintenance, by doing a die cut sign. Our logo is a lion, and we have the logo of the lion die cut with one service with a QR code is what we go to. So like simplicity on yard signs. I'm not looking, I can go to your website and I can read about your services.
Let's talk a little bit about mindset for a second. You know what I see with winning companies?
Yeah.
Let's say you're an HVAC company, you made $8 million, you're feeling good.
Yeah.
You're feeling good. Like a lot of times, like you surge up to that, people get complacent, and so they don't do these types of things because they don't feel like they need to. What do you think about home service companies that don't feel like they need to touch direct mail?
Dude, you got to keep priming the pump. That's the idea.
Yep.
Like, Tim, Dave, and Chris digest content different ways.
Yep.
Tim wants to watch the video. Dave wants to read the book. Chris wants to listen to the audio. Like, you have to appease the need of the touches for your customers to remember who you are. And this day and age, we were talking in a previous conversation about like the big real estate agents in town or whatever. You can be the biggest brand, but it doesn't need to be in your whole city. It can be in certain neighborhoods. You're focusing your marketing dollars on more touches in those neighborhoods. Having something on their door, being online, being in their email, being on their text message,
and leadership, I just want to note, like, I say the same thing. Like, if our leaders should be saying something, if it's an important reminder on Slack, we should be saying it in person. We might even record a Loom video. We may put it on the wall. Like, so you mix these, like in leadership too, you should be mixing the types of communication, not just because but we do. You and I are probably a little ADD.
A little bit.
Like, we learn differently than your average individual. Sometimes, like, I'll tell you what, I don't want to hear voice text from somebody. That's my
least favorite thing in the world.
I'll stand on that. You hate it when people stand up on airplanes. I hate it when people send me a voice text.
I'm equal. You should lose 40 points on your credit score for doing both. Both.
What he does is he teaches the most valuable team in your business. He'll just add nothing but profit.
There's so much money left in the call center. So much money. If you're not at a 90% booking rate, showing empathy on the phone, smiling on the phone, making sure they're having a better day after they got off the phone with you, then you need to call Power Selling Pros and see Brigham.
Like, it goes to, I agree with you with the leadership side, and it almost goes into like, understanding your customer, who you service, and how you talk to them. Let's go back into these direct mail strategies with HVAC. So like, we understand the automation side. You should be getting more touches to your neighbors. We went over some stuff with yard signs.
And your platform does automations that can automatically, once a job is like completed out in, let's say, Service Titan, you can automatically send direct mail.
When you mark a job approved in Service Titan, we can make 25 postcards go to the neighbor once a week, 4 weeks in a row, automatically.
That's incredible.
With your rep, with a unique QR code, with the service that you offered, with different tracks based on the services. Think all that data you have in Service Titan, we can use all that data to trigger different postcards, different handwritten notes. We get really deep with that. But it also goes into like, so everyone thinks.
And everyone knows, if you don't know, they can do automated handwritten notes. So they have an auto writer that will write in.
So it goes into another strategy. Let's touch on that. So one thing that we found works really well, we started this in the roofing space, and we've really like been focusing on it with HVAC. When you mark an estimate given or a job approved, we send 10 handwritten notes to the neighbors of that job saying, Tim, just want to let you know we'll be working in your neighborhood. If it's been a while since you got your system tuned up or checked, or you want to get it checked out before the winter kicks in, my direct number's below. I'll be working in the neighborhood. It's a handwritten note, that intimacy coming in, like we get so much feedback for our account rep team being like, man, I got 3 calls last week from sending out 40 of these things, being like, Tim, I got that handwritten note that we got from your technician. I just wanted to say that's great marketing. And like, we're getting companies that are getting hit up by other marketing companies that live in the neighborhood. Just like, dude, I just want to let you know this is slick.
That's
like, it's
crazy.
really good. So the handwritten notes, we can do that automatically. Another strategy that I really like for electrical, plumbing, and HVAC is the filtering. So fair to say that, like, you think about your neighborhood that you live in now. Any of you that own a home, rent a home, whatever, think of your neighbors. Fair to say that, like, those homes are pretty similar, like same square footage, same materials, probably cost around the same amount. But what about those neighborhoods where you have little pockets? Or like for HVAC, one of the strategies that we use really well is homes that are over 20 years old, that are over 4,000 square feet, are gonna have more than one system. Like over 4,000 square feet in HVAC, we'll deem that you have 2 systems in that property instead of one.
We have 2 systems.
So if you're leading with your maintenance tune-up, the $29, $69, $89, whatever your flavor of the month is, but you're only targeting homes that you're leading more data into, like, if that turned into an install, it's twice as big of a job because you're doing a more aggressive, so you're dropping the dollar amount on your maintenance tune-up, but you're only sending that one to the houses over 4,000 square feet. So really getting into the data and the predictive data. So like, a lot of people don't know this, you know, our company name, DOPE, is not because I only say dope 17 times in every sentence that I say. It stands for data on previous engagement. So we have a tool inside of our software where you can connect your CRM, upload your customer list from the past year. We'll tell you the top 3 zip codes where you did work and the profiles of those homes. So like, your average maintenance job last year was at a house that was between 300,000 and 400,000, around 3,000 square feet, and cost $400,000 in these top 3 zip codes. Tim, where would that tell you that you should run your marketing campaigns going into spring next year?
Those 3 zip codes.
Data-driven decisions, sales enablement tools based on the data on previous engagement in your business. So like, you guys should know in your business who's answering the door. A lot of the times in the HVAC space, you're selling to the wife. The wife is the one at home checking in the technician, letting him into the basement or the attic, going through the stuff. And so
buying the HVAC unit with very little of my permission, Bia. Thank you.
Exactly. So you go to like,
She didn't care, dude. She said, well, it's on financing,
Tim,
so don't worry about it.
It's probably the biggest check you ever wrote in your life. Your home.
It was huge.
So like, when you guys think about, you just had a new baby.
Yeah.
We're in Minnesota. Have you ever had it in your house? I've had it happen in my house where like the heat goes out. And you guys live in a really nice area with homes that are a little bit older that were built in like the 70s, 80s, but are like funky and stuff. Like, dude, I don't think Bia was wrong. But I think that when that company that sold you that system looks at that marketing message, targeting the wife, putting a picture of the wife and the kid, getting dramatic, like, do you really want your baby to be freezing if your heat goes out? What's that gonna make the wife do?
Yeah.
That buying decision. So now you go back to the targeting or the strategy. When you're speaking your marketing message leading into the winter, when we know here in Minnesota, or even if you're in wherever, Dallas has had problems with the cold and the HVAC systems and the plumbing freezing for the past 3 years. It's like, if you truly look at who your target customer is and you focus on them, and with our platform, again, not making this a sales pitch, but you can get on and target 25, 50, 100 customers. Complement that with your digital, complement that with your assets, complement, like Ken Goodrich said, with your door knocking, with your canvassing, with the touches that you're getting in those neighborhoods. Like, you're already doing a good job getting jobs in your business, or else you wouldn't be watching this. Like, you had jobs last week, last month, last year. What I think a lot of business owners are missing the point on is that, like, there is data in what you're already doing, and instead of trying to figure out some new thing, look at the consistencies. Go on Google Maps. Get your data out of Service Titan, out of House Call Pro, out of Sarah. Download your customer list from last year, this month, last year. Upload it into Google Maps. Look at where the pins are That data will tell you a story on where you are getting more jobs. That's where you should have yard signs out, Facebook ads running, parking a truck at the, overnight. You just bought another truck, but you don't have enough technicians yet. You should be leaving your big letter Dan Antonelli truck in the grocery store parking lot in that high-end area so people see that shit, because you're already getting jobs in that neighborhood, but you're probably looking to grow somewhere else, not focusing on what's working and priming the pump.
Crucial. Okay, I've got a segment for you. It's called Hot Takes and Cold Trends. Now, give me a hot take that you have on the HVAC industry, HVAC as you call it. I know everyone says it's different. Tell me if I'm wrong with the HVAC thing.
I have no clue.
Okay, perfect.
I can't spell it.
Yeah. All right. So, and I realized recently who we're really trying to talk to is HVACR, because that's residential. I thought it was refrigeration. God, you can tell I'm a noob. Okay, so what's a hot take that you have on this industry? What's something that you feel like, and then the cold trend is like something that you feel people should stop wasting time, money, or effort on?
The hot take is that the brand sells the business. I see more businesses in the HVAC space investing in their brand, like top dollar, big money, but it stands out. They see it. There are some great companies, branding companies in the HVAC space that the consistency of that branding, it's like, it's not this fly-by-night reactive, where are my leads? It's investing in neighborhoods with a brand and building that brand, because that's what sells jobs.
And I just saw a company's logo back here, and one that wasn't good. I'm going to say just one that wasn't good.
Yep.
And I had to look closer because I didn't know if it was this company or that company or that company.
Yep.
And I looked closer, and I kind of could tell who it was, but I didn't know, because they have a name that sounds like all the other companies.
Yep.
And so if people can't even tell if you're this company or that company, then how do you expect them to be able to remember it enough to Google it later or
Correct.
whatever?
Correct.
And lastly, the cold trend. What is something that you think people should stop spending money, time, or effort on in HVAC?
I think that looking at selling the system install first is like, you see all these offers around like $500 off, financing offers, all these things. I'm not saying this is dead or it's over, but I really like the strategic aspect of putting a low ticket maintenance offer, residentially here, putting a low ticket maintenance offer, tune up, service, foot in the door, but leading it towards those right customers. I really like the targeting abilities available for like older homes, higher square footage homes, like those things that are gonna lead to that job you want. We get asked a lot as we're coming off of like it's trade show season right now in this industry. And it's like, Dave, how can I get more system installs? It's not your financing offer. It's not your discount off the maintenance, because a big ticket is still a big ticket. When Bia just bought your HVAC system, she wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna save $500 to do this. The 7-point tune-up inspection at a low dollar to get the foot in the door to identify the problems of the right jobs in the right areas, where you have brand recognition, where you have maintenance plans, where they're seeing your trucks already, where they're seeing your guys at the gas station, where someone went to high school and knows somebody. Targeted strategic areas. This industry isn't scared to spend money and do billboards and radio and all the different, like Bonfi here in the Twin Cities. They're everywhere. Where you really, really, really want to lean in and focus is, where is the data telling a story in your business around the targeting? Old homes, high square footage, affluent areas. That's the targeting that I like.
And we've got one more little section. It's called There's Money in the Phones. And I'm curious, you could give some recommendations based on what you guys have experienced at DOPE, or if you recommend it for HVAC companies. But how can people improve their phone answering system? This is a section by Power Selling Pros. Shout out to Power Selling Pros. If you need training for your CSRs, strongly recommend you work with powersellingpros.com. What is something that you think people can do to improve their phone answering systems to make sure more of these are turning into jobs?
So there's a lot of services that I see that are doing dedicated phone answering, and it seems like they have a lot of systems and training. It looks like those are a lot of good options. Sounds like you got some recommendations around that. I think when it comes to the phones, I'm not a big phone trainer, CSR, and any of that stuff. What I can say is database reactivation is key. Your customer list should be getting an outbound phone call every single month, checking in, seeing what you can do. And I see a lot of companies aren't doing that, but it's one of the most impactful things that I've seen as I'm getting to know some of the other vendors in the space, doing the trade shows, speaking at these things, just getting around the groups. The companies that I see are having dramatic success are the ones that have a phone outbound dialing company that is checking in. Tim, Bia, what's up? Haven't talked to you last month. Just seeing if you need anything. Temperatures are good in your room. Seeing if you need any light switches changed out, HDMI outlets, whatever your in is. You should have a marketing calendar or a deal of the month every month that you're calling to check in with your customers every single month. Just saying, hey, we got our dope deal of the month.
That's sweet.
Just checking to see if you heard about it. If you need any more information, we're here to help. That constant cycle of providing value on the phones. Every company in the HVAC space should be doing outbound dialing to their residential customer base.
Awesome. And who else do you think I should have on this HVAC Hustle podcast?
You had Tommy Mello on yet?
Yes. He actually went up today, by the way.
Awesome.
Go watch that episode. We talked about performance pay. I'm in my company. We have about a third of the people on.
You know what I
performance pay.
think you should do?
Yeah.
You should have some other agencies on.
Really?
Yeah, just talking about best practices. There are some agencies that provide the same services as you guys that have been in the space. We're gonna do something with the guys over at Best Postcards.
Okay.
And they've been in the HVAC space for a while. Our goal is we want companies to grow and we want people to have options. And I think that if people like you and I are interviewing other people that do the same things that we do and just getting opinions, other strategies, other things, I always say when companies hire a marketing company, people come to us all the time. Who should we hire for SEO? Who should we hire for Google? Who should we hire for Facebook ads? I give people a list of 3 and I'm figure out the one that you'd that you like enough that when things go wrong, you would still want to have a conversation with. So I think there could be some very collaborative stuff. I won't throw out any names, but you know the cast of characters. I think you should get on and interview some of the guys that you know that are direct competition.
Hey, I appreciate your perspective on that.
I bet you do.
So really appreciate everyone watching this HVAC Hustle podcast. Please comment, and subscribe. And if you haven't worked with Dope Marketing yet, dopemarketing.com, get on their automation system. Hook it up to your CRM. Collaborate with these guys on the best practices in mail and HVAC. I mean, it's ultimately the things that you do consistently. It's not how good you are, it's how long you're good.
Keep priming that pump.
Let's go. Keep it consistent. Stay on your print materials and your direct mail. And thank you for joining me.
Appreciate you guys.